Hi guys, let's talk about single moms. Let's put them on trial. Spoiler alert, they're guilty. I think all of us pretty much agree on that who are anti-feminists. I could be wrong. Once in a while you run into someone in a forum or a group and you're just like, why are you on this page? How are you anti-feminism when you are everything that feminism tried to create? I don't know, but we're going to put them on trial. And they were created out of feminism. With all of these welfare programs and the change in the way we look at things morally, ethically, and socially, which is really the female realm, if you will, that is historically sort of where part of our role was. You know, we were the family's connection to the community. You know, if a widow in the town, or if a woman in the town was recently widowed, we knew about it. We sort of organized, maybe through the church, through one another. That was one of the things that we did. It wasn't all about, just our own families. It was mostly about our families, but that was how communities were. It didn't go through the government as it does now. Well, women primarily vote Democratic and are very much in favor of all of the welfare programs because it really hits us in the feelings. How could we say, no, we don't want people to eat, or no, we don't want people to have health care? It seems unkind. Anyway, we have voted in a lot of these programs, and we have made life unbearable for fathers and, gotten divorced, and then that child sort of, with the way the custody laws are, that child kind of does grow up without a father, even though they have one because of divorce and custody. They don't really see them as often, and dads are afraid to do anything to lose the little custody that they have. So there really isn't the discipline, the fatherly discipline. I'm not talking about beatings, but just the direction. And they're like, no, you're not going to date him, and no, you're not going to hang out with them, that kind of a thing. They don't have that. So it's easier for them to become a single mom, looking for that male attention, what have you. Those daddy issues start to kick in. And that's why we joke about daddy issues. They're real, and they have real consequences. And one of them is creating single mothers. It was difficult to do the research for this topic because a lot of what you find when you're researching is justification, talking about, well, thank goodness old bad stereotypes about single mothers are no longer, around as much. And I'm like, what? I mean, it's really trying, society is really trying to get rid of the stigma. Because God forbid you be ashamed of anything in your life. God forbid you have to say, hey, I made a mistake. So I got myself a little worked up doing the research. If I get flustered, you can attribute it to that. Actually, let me share something that I read, and I had to read several times because I was like, no way did someone actually write that down and put it on a website. They said that gone are the days when people said that, quote, single motherhood is, quote, only capable of producing troubled teens. Thank goodness that stereotype is going by the wayside. I read that and I was like, oh no, no, no. And then they said, because nothing could be further from the truth. And I think I had a mini stroke after I read that. And I was like, wait a minute. Am I in like upside down world? Because yeah, it does produce overwhelmingly troubled teens, troubled, toddlers almost. I mean, it creates troubled children. Single motherhood does. Shocking. But society, another thing, I mean, and it's something I already knew, but when you know something and then it's like right here in your face, it just hits another level, and you're just like, Jesus, I mean, it's no joke. I mean, they're cramming it down our throats that single motherhood is fine, and, it's just as good, and it doesn't lead to anything bad. It's not like it makes the children 2 to 3 times more likely to go to jail before they're age 30, and I'm talking about all races. It's just insanity. In the last 50 years, single motherhood in the United States jumped from 8% to 23%. That sounds low to me. I think, maybe I'm too suspicious, but I think they're doing something to make it sound lower. I don't know, because there's single moms everywhere. You know what it probably is? They probably, once the kid's 18, they're like, okay, you're not in the statistics anymore. That's what they're doing. There are 11 million single parents in the United States today. 8.5 of those, 8.5 million of those are women. In my research, again, not looking for opinions. I have my own opinion. I don't need anybody else's. In my research, looking for statistics and as current as I could find. I mean, even looking for just facts, I was running across, the dads run off all the time because they're pieces of crap. Okay, let's stop right there. Let's say they are. Okay, I'll play along. Let's say those dads that chick got knocked up by, he's a piece of crap, and he ran off, and he is this, and he's that. All right, let's say, okay, blame him all day long. You know what, lady? If he's so bad, why'd you spread your legs for him? You've got to choose better. I don't care if you're 16 or 26 or 36. You don't get to blame the man. Shut up with the whole, what if I was raped? Look, they're always pulling out exceptions to sort of disprove the rule. Leave the exceptions at the door and deal with it. Stop choosing shitty guys and then blaming them. I chose shitty guys. I chose 2 in a row. First one, he was young. He's he grew up, he's a decent guy, whatever. High school, I knew him in high school. Next, that guy was definitely a piece of crap. Like, he's been to jail and he's whatever. That was a very long time ago. It was 20 years ago when I broke up with him. I was quite young. My dad, did I have a dad? Yes, but he worked outside the home a lot. So he wasn't really guarding against the wolves. And that was when both these people were in my life, especially the really bad one. I take full ownership of that. I chose that guy. I chose him. And thank God I didn't get pregnant. Thank God. Good Lord. But I can own that I chose him. I can own that that was my decision. These women need to start doing that. Then we would have fewer children growing up with guys who truly are not worthy of being fathers, and start having more people growing up with 2 parents. It makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. That's why it takes two to create one, because it takes two to raise one. And single moms, you're guilty. You're not queens. You're not killing it. You're not awesome. You're not heroes. None of this. None of these rewards should be bestowed upon you. They're queens, and the guys whom they chose are man whores and what else? Players. Sure. That sounds about right. Sounds about as right as everything else feminism has created. And feminism has created single motherhood. And created half-orphaned children that have filled up our jails and made our schools nightmares for teachers. And we've only had a couple, 1.5 generations of this. It's gotta stop. That's why I'm pro MGTOW, one of the reasons. Go into that a little bit more in the next video. Thanks. Hit the subscribe button, please. Thanks. Bye.